好的，那么接下来要进入到我们今天下午议程的第一场的正题了。那么接下来这位讲者呢，他是一位 Full Stack 的开发者哦，同时他也是一位资讯安全的顾问以及讲师。那么他拥有5年以上的开发经验，那么擅长的是 Ruby on Rails， 还有 Node.js 和 Django。那么他目前呢，主要负责的是亚太以及美洲两地区的公司、NGO 还有政府机关哦。所以他今天也会依据呢，他过去依据新加坡政府的一些开放资料所进行的一些专案以及运用，那来跟大家做个分享。那么其实我觉得今天这场主题可能会给大家很多新的灵感跟 idea， 是因为可能现场有很多开发者都有一些经历，是像大家从2014的学运之后啊，大家可能都知道开放政府这件事情是越来越被推动的。那么相信在座也有很多人，因为过往 JSDC 在座都有非常多人是曾经在 G0V 里面填过坑。那么未来呢，也会有越来越多的政府的 Open Data， 也许可以给各位做更多的运用，或是更多的专案上的使用等等。所以也许今天呢，接下来这场分享可以给各位一些新的灵感或是 idea。也说不定。那么他今天将要带来的主题是 Building an API for Marketplace Mashape。那么让我们一起以掌声欢迎接下来的这位讲者 Shaun， 欢迎。
Hi everybody， 大家好。对不起啊，因为我这个是会说英文，然后有一些我会就是尽力的用中文转发。如果你们有问题可以问我一下。对啊，好，等我一下啊。Okay, so today we are talking about the API gateway pattern, Kong. I'm not sure if any of you have used Kong before. So Mashape is one of the platform that we built for Singapore government IDA and IMDA. So now they split into 2 companies called the GovTech and 等一下，它的这个就是不能那个好。Okay, hi. 还是就是很难。Hi, can you hear me? Okay. So I will speak a bit louder. Okay. So what happened here is that for the Singapore government, right, we build a lot of data APIs around in Singapore, and we collect massive data inputs from endpoints, from third-party solutions, from third-party companies and government entities. So all of them feed all data into IDA. We have this thing called data.gov.sg. You can check it out. It's almost the same as Taiwan Open API data, actually. So you can get all those data, right, and then build massive applications using the data input. And what happened here is for the API gateway pattern, right, is that we are entering into a microservice world. So it takes care a lot of complex demand and complex requirements for the API in order for us to actually enhance our mobile application or third-party application. So API itself, right, got very popular in 2007, if you know it. And you have the mobile app public developer community contributing to open source, GitHub repository, GitLab repository, and many other private repositories that you guys can actually find on the web. Yeah. So how do you make these developers consume this application in Mashape, like the APIs that you host on it? And today, I'm going to give you an afterthought on how are you going to utilize this Mashape API. Okay, so myself, right, I come from NUS, and I was based in Silicon Valley in San Francisco for a period of about 1.5 years. And what happened here is that we work with a lot of tech companies over there. We are exposed to their teachings and everything. We help companies to build API, like middlewares, okay, to connect with third-party applications. Yeah. So let's say, for example, today you want to build an application. So it's, how do I say, it's like you will take a longer time if you were going to write the whole library by yourself. So these days, people don't really actually write the whole library by themselves, but they utilize like npm.js library and massive packages that are out there that's really built for you guys to ship it out. Yeah. So let me move on to the history of the microservices. So in 2008, right, that's where the iPhone came out. So it's where the social media was actually blooming. And then after that, right, you know what happened in 2014? it's actually a huge trajectory adoption whereby microservices came into place. And what happened here was that Docker was released a year before, which means that Docker and container, right, are finally arriving, giving the tools for everybody else from the rest of the world to utilize it. Okay, so we transitioned from a microservice company, okay, into a company whereby they can actually use this monolithic applications, right, to break down all this thing. So I will explain further how they actually use Mashape API. So some companies have done it before. So think of like Amazon, Netflix, and some companies progress enough to actually change the whole entire system into microservices, okay? So they adopt microservices, and then they break it down, and then they ship it out, allow people to use their services. Okay, so next slide will be how you can think of it as. Okay, so we have account here, right? So account, right, is being break down into like milk, butter, and beef. So you can think of monolithic application, right? Like you want to transform into a microservices, right? It's like from account, and then you break it down into all these 3 services. Yeah. So you have the whole count, okay? And you want to transit into a smaller component that are working together with each other. And the whole thing is that during the transition, right, they are actually being broken down into many different parts. You take a look at like Uber. And Uber itself, right, ever since then, they are built on top of Node.js, and they break down a lot of independent modules whereby they can actually work independently with itself, yeah, without itself being everything all connected. Yeah. So you need to keep the count alive, okay? You can't kill the count at all. And you need to keep supporting your clients. You need to keep your application running. You have to engage into this transition by making your system to keep working. And there are 3 different strategies I'm going to touch on, okay? So the main strategies here are actually ice cream scoop, okay? And ice cream scoop strategy, right, it's a lot of companies that are actually adopting this method, okay? So I have talked to a lot of companies out there. They consult me, and we actually tell them that they have 3 options. So one of the which options is ice cream scoop, whereby it's actually a huge ice cream cup. You need to extract from your monolithic app individually component, okay, and microservices. Then now you can actually leave, okay, scale, and separate them and build separately. And there, in the nuclear bomb strategy, so some companies are deciding that monolithic is not a solution anymore, okay? So they get rid of their app, and they transit 100% into microservices. Okay, so basically, right, if you build new technologies, right, you're also building new software, okay, and new products in a microservice. So this oriented architecture itself, right, is actually your legacy monolithic app, okay? The whole system of this, right, is actually a gigantic service that's functioning effectively. They work together, okay, with those new microservices that new teams are creating, you know, by the way transiting from monolithic to microservices is not just a technology change. It's actually more of an organization change, transiting and making this into microservices. Yeah. Okay, so if you think of Uber, right, Uber has a very huge monolithic app, okay, that was baking together all of these different features, function in one base effectively. And they decided that to extract all of this in thousands of separate microservices, right, they can now operate independently from each other. Yeah, as you can see over here. So we have here is that you take a look at like the users, the trips, the payments, the products, the cities, the documents. All these are all different classes. All these are all separated, you know. As of 2016, right, Grab actually kind of like follow Uber style. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys know Grab. Okay, Grab is in Asia Pacific. It's in Singapore. It's in Malaysia. It's in Jakarta, in Indonesia, and a lot of places as well as Bangkok. Yeah. So Grab functions similar to Uber, and I have a friend, a classmate from NUS, Shun Yan. He's actually inside Grab. So he built a lot of this very interesting middleware monolithics application for Grab itself, and I can actually share with you. He has a very famous Git repository that I can share with you after the conference lah. Yeah. So if you think about microservices, right, it's actually like running a city. You need to have road for the microservice to communicate. Otherwise, you cannot communicate with one another. Okay. You need to have a fire department. You need to have a police security department, and you need to have an infrastructure in place which can make you successful with this software that you're going to build. Yeah, whichever software that you think that you will build in the near future. So next, right, since everyone is transitioning to microservices, right, okay, we can do it all here, okay? So from the start of the monolithic application, right, with all of this component built into this one code base, right, if you take a look inside at the slides, right, you can see that they live all separately. And the components that you see over here, right, are in actually a vacuum, okay? And the infrastructure itself, right, is like a city. In order to be successfully, the team will actually come together in a company, right, to actually build more and more logic that is actually a complementary to microservices success. So we build like security features, authentication features, you build logging transformation, you build all the other stuff, and other teams would actually contribute. Yeah, if you actually work in a organization, you would know that teams actually separate to build different modules, and then they will come together and then to share what kind of modules they are building, and how they improve it. Yeah. So the next thing is that when we want to build this thing, right, microservices are actually built over and over again. Okay, it just doesn't stop there. So if you have a new services, a new feature, you go by the agile methodology, right, Scrum methodology, you can easily implement a new microservices into the whole infrastructure at a later date. So you see over here, so more logic in, for example, like items here, like the security authorization, like OAuth and that kind of thing. And then more and more, you can see more and more logics will get built up over time, and you repeat the whole process again. So what happened here is that gateways, APIs, right, can help you in two different ways, okay? They can help you to build an abstraction layer, okay? It sits on the execution path of every request, okay, that is going into one of the microservice and centralized together into one place. All these common features, right, are all team up, okay? And each microservices will have to be implemented. So you think of the authentication security again. Logging transformation, service discovery, and stuff like that. In this case, the Kong itself is actually the gateway to upstream services lah. Yeah. So now we have the API gateway. Okay, so when you think of gateways itself, right, you think of something that stays on the edge. Everyone wants to build a web application or a mobile application that stays on the edge, or cutting edge technology like React, Angular, Vue. So in order for us to actually utilize the API gateway, right, okay, we look back in the olden days, okay, whereby you have your own monolithic app with your API. API is sometimes with an afterthought API management solution whereby you can actually adopt a monolithic black box, okay, which is actually effectively closed and hard to extend, okay, or to scale up, yeah, in the old way, 旧的方式. So versus the new way, Kong itself, right, allow you to actually push out your services, list your APIs that you created, allow people to test. Maybe you can limit it to maybe 1,000 calls, and then you can charge them like maybe 5 cents or 10 cents per call after that, depending on your own business model. Yeah. Okay, so we containerize microservices over there. You can see. Wait, let me see if I can show you over there. Over here, you containerize it over here. Okay. Something happened. Okay. So first of all, right, the topology of our traffic, right, is actually increasing. Okay, being behind the firewall, and not just outside of the firewall. Okay, you have lots of critical information happening inside there. Okay, and if you actually take a look at the Kong API over there, right, you can control it effectively. Okay, because of the Kong admin administration, it's like a dashboard where you can control everything that's going in and out. Yeah. So if you want to scale alongside with your microservice, right, into a pretty much any containerization platform, okay, for example, like you still have the external client use case whereby they become one of the many clients that are consuming the microservices, okay, and the reason is we have this increase of communication. Well, you probably already know that it's very straightforward that microservice, right, have to communicate with each other in order to function, okay. The monolithic app doesn't have this problem at all, okay? Everything is the same code base, okay? So you don't really have to go on the network most of the time just to provide what you have to do. Actively, this changed how gateways are being used internally. Okay. Okay, so when you think of gateway, right, you usually think of centralized area being used internally. But when you think of gateway again, you realize a central hop in the network that are processing in additional features, but that doesn't have to necessarily be true. Why? Because you can also run a system like Kong, for example. Okay, for example, like you have your existing microservices process. Okay, you can then effectively get rid of the extra hop in the network and reduce the latency overall. Okay, so your services will speed up really fast. You get data, you pull, the query will be a much shorter time. You can try it, yeah. So latency, like I mentioned just now, right, is actually another factor. Important factor whereby, you know, back in the days, right, where if a solution is added, okay, so it adds maybe 100 milliseconds, you know, maybe it's something you can live with, okay, but maybe now things are actually moving much faster. You want to get more data, you know, and then you repeatedly do testing, so you hope that you can like you can lean your code, you can like code effectively, minimize, and then reiterate it all over again in order to improve your query timing as well. So with microservices, right, even latency compounds, right, at the end of the day, right, would end up with an enormous latency that you don't take account, don't take into account immediately. It will be something that you will want to look out for at the end of the day. Okay, so the next thing here, right, it's the infrastructure of Kong, how Kong actually works. I'm going to move to this side, okay? So the FAAS itself, right, you can think of it like AWS, Lambda, Docker, Kubernetes, Swarm, and etc., okay? So the public APIs are where everybody can connect, okay? And as for the partner APIs are only for specific partners who are partnering with you, and these APIs are limited to those partners who can pull out your data. And the private APIs are for internal use, for testing purpose, you know, for your dev teams, yeah. So Kong itself, right, has a dynamic load balancer, okay? It has a service discovery, authentication, security, traffic control, okay? And then with logging as well, transformation, and you can do your ops as well. You can control everything all over here. Basically, what would DevOps do will be logging into Kong, managing everything from the Kong API. So Kong API is actually very easy to set up. You can go to Kong, Mashape, look up for Kong, and then you can straight away brew install. If most of you are using Mac, right, you can just download it and then you can run it and start. Okay. So for this, right, we have two clients. Okay, I want to show you the difference between the client on the left and client on the right. Okay, so when you take a look at the services of the API that you're offering over here, right, you are not offering seamlessly onto your partners, onto your clients. You know, it will actually, how do I say it? It's like it's quite big actually when you build so much of the API without Kong. But with Kong itself, right, take a look how fast and seamlessly it transferred to multiple cloud hosting platform. Immediately transform into a very fast, gigantic microservices. Yeah. Okay, so millions of people, right, are actually using Kong right now. Okay, so we have open source for Kong. Okay, and what happened here is that Kong itself is built on top of Nginx. Okay, how many of you here actually use Nginx? Anyone? Hands up. Right. Okay, that's good. And Nginx, right? It's actually dated really very back long time ago, but maybe about 10 years ago. Yeah. And then let me see, cloud platform. Yep. So the cloud platform itself, right, allows Mashape to be shipped to like a Docker containerization, right, to any web application. So you can get it run and fast in just like minutes, lah. Yeah. So the next thing here is that Fortune 10 companies are also using it. It's one of the largest e-commerce company in Japan. It's also making use of Mashape. So major banks like in Canada, Europe, and Singapore, they are also using Mashape as well. They're starting to move. Singapore is actually our Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. I'm sure you all know Li Guangyao 的儿子 Lee Hsien Loong. We are moving into a smart nation 2020, 2018. Okay, everything all is actually all automated. Okay, our government, 我们的政府就是会给一些钱，就是鼓励企业家的公司去创造一些 APP， 利用一些 API， 所以我们就帮他们做了一个开发的那个一个 Open Data GovTech， 对，然后他们就是用这些 API data， 外面的公司就是传这些资料给我们，然后这些公司就是利用了这些文件跟 data 去开发一个 APP， 然后他们就是可以卖出去或者给其他的顾客去利用。然后新加坡也有其他的方式来鼓励学生，就是他们会跟大学，政府会跟大学合作。我们新加坡国立大学是一个很 holistic 的学校，我们就是很我们跟着最流行的那个 technology stack， 好像 React、Dev 全部，我们的那个lecturer 在学校都会教，对。所以在学校里面，我们其实有一个 hacker community， 我们会一起 gather， 然后我们会就是有时间就创造 APP， 然后如果 APP 好像会可以就是很使用的话，很多人用的话，然后他们会就是找投资人。然后政府也会投资在里面，比如像 Carousel， 你们知道 Carousel 吧 ？Carousel 是我们的同学，对，所以 Carousel 以前刚开始的时候，他们是卖旧的课本，就是你们要毕业的时候，对吗？然后旧的课本就你们不要了，想要就是有可能可惜，你们不要想要丢掉，你们要就是要把它 recycle， 然后卖给你们的那个 junior， 所以 Carousel 就用了这个方式，起了这个方式，然后就是测试在里面。然后慢慢很多人就是觉得，哎，我也可以用其他东西卖出去，就是我可以卖我旧的东西使用，对。然后在2015年，他们就来了台湾，就在这里发展，对。还有让我看一下 ，OK，so 那个 Mashape， 其实你们可以受到很多协助帮忙，从他们的 team， 他们可以 be contactable 24小时，你们可以找他。他们是很 friendly， 然后如果你有什么事情的话，你可以就是发一个 email， 在24小时内他们会通知你，然后跟你联系。他们也有用，好像 Slack 跟what is that called？ 一个 remote desktop 的 application 跟你们使用那个 demo， 然后他会教你怎么用 Kong。So Microservices, right? 对不起啊，我讲回英文啊。Microservices, right? Like authentication, right, is actually one example. So here are actually a few examples that people have built and put up onto Mashape itself. So you can see like the OAuth 2 authentication, OAuth 2 introspection, JWT Java Web Token, okay? And then your LDAP authentication, but I don't think most people are using LDAP over here. Yeah. Okay, so we have the serverless microservices, okay, that is actually function as a plugin, okay. This plugin are all inside Mashape where you can find. So actually inside, right, if you go inside, you dive in, you can find that there are a lot of other microservices beside serverless and the authentication, like what I showed you earlier before. Okay, so over here, right, like I said just now, custom plugins, right, it can be easily created, okay. It can actually allow you to do third-party integration, logging, security features, and all. Yeah. So these are actually a few operating systems, right, or cloud platforms that are actually utilizing the microservices. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at the architecture for Kong. Okay, Kong is actually a stateless server. If you guys didn't know it, it's a stateless server. You can run Kong. Okay. You can add Kong nodes, you can remove Kong nodes, you can do other stuff with it as well, but nothing will actually happen. Okay, the state is being stored in either Cassandra or Postgres. Okay, you can choose either one, but I recommend Cassandra for distributed and complex use case. Okay, why I recommend Cassandra is because if you tend to build more complex application, right, Cassandra is for you to grow. Large enterprise use Cassandra as a database. I recommend Postgres for simple use case if you guys just want to do testing or just starting out. The reason for Postgres, you know, is a master slave, okay, and it's a master slave data store. So if you're running a Kong node in the data center, right, that Kong node will have to go all the way to the master DC of Postgres in order to write some information. With Cassandra itself, right, you have eventually a consistent distributed data store. Okay, it's masterless and effective. You can write like a read and write across all the nodes, and Cassandra itself, right, will take care of this information and replicate this information across the board. As long as your node application itself, right, communicates with the same Cassandra key space or Postgres database, you are good to go. They are all shared across the same data. Okay? So the trick here is Kong does not make a request to the data store. Okay? On every request that comes in, it only makes a request to the data store for the first time. Okay? Then it will cache this information in the memory, in the process, which means that after Kong warms up, okay, it will not go again onto the data store and actually tolerate a fault-tolerant failure, and Kong will actually process all this in the memory. Yeah. If you're changing the data from a different Kong node, right, so Kong itself will understand, it will propagate an invalidation event across every Kong node, telling the Kong node that, hey, this data has changed. The local copy of your memory, right, is not valid anymore. Okay, it will refetch it again from the data store, okay, and then pass it on to the next database. So Kong is built on top of Nginx and open resting. Okay, it's a performant architecture which is running Lua code on top of the logic virtual machine. It's very fast because it's implemented in C, okay, for the virtual machine, and we can embed this into Nginx, and the script is how Nginx actually works. Yeah. They added support for clustering and data store. So you don't have to worry about restarting, reloading, you know, or reconfiguring once you start Kong node. Just like, have you all used this node packages called Forever? Anyone use a node package called Forever? Oh, one here. Any more? Anyone? You can check it out, Forever, in npm.js. So Forever is also an application whereby it's a module whereby you can run your server live, and then if you want to restart it, it will help you to handle that, take care of it. But as for this, right, it's different from the Forever because it helps you to restart itself. Yeah, yeah, and reload itself automatically, actually. Okay, so all these are all dynamic and support for plugins that are written in Lua, JavaScript, Python, so on and so forth, okay? On top of all this, right, we got the admin API that allows us to configure the entire system. Okay, you can provision API, plugins, and credentials. Kong can run in two different modes, okay? One is actually Kong will store all the credentials. If you use OAuth to store the access tokens, right? The refresh tokens, if you're using basic out, it will store the username and password. But that's not always ideal, yeah, because of security issues. You can also use Kong in a different mode by leveraging on a third-party application, okay, third-party authorization server to authenticate your requests. Okay, so Kong are divided into two pods, okay? The two pods are basically proxy pods and admin pods, all right? So proxy pods are pods that a client will consume when he wants to consume an upstream service. So this will be the one that will be available to other microservice or external client. Admin pod, right, admin API itself, right, is the one you're going to use for configuring your system, firewalls, these pods to prevent external access in production. Okay, so we are going to do primarily a few entities such as the above APIs, okay? So plugins, consumers, these are core entities that are sooner or later you will have to deal with when using Kong. Plugins themselves can extend the underlying model of Kong by extending the system with new entities that you can use. So for example, if you decide to adopt a key authentication plugin, for example, if you have OAuth 2.0, it allows you to OAuth 2.0 application token and authorize the node. Okay. All right, so I have actually come to the end of the presentation, and I actually have another thing I would want to share with you, like what I did. I want to encourage the Taiwan people, right, community to be actually entrepreneur and to not fear anything. Okay, go out there, build applications, because you never know what will really happen. Okay, so 我想要说的是，就是想要鼓励你们大家，就是敢出去创造创业，做一个企业家。你们不要害怕。我想要跟你们分享，就是在2012年，我就是写了一个软体。你给我一下子，我开给你们看。OK， 好，我的公司其实，等一下啊，我还没转发到那。OK，Alright。好，我的公司名字其实是叫 Optify，OK，and 那个 application 我所创造的就是，在哪？在这 ，OK， 是叫 JSDC。你们之前有没有玩过一个 APP 叫 Draw Something， 就是你画一个东西，你们的朋友猜，有对吗？好 ，OK， 大家都知道。然后就是我就是觉得那个东西真的很好玩。然后我们的国庆日那时候就是想要做一个东西给他们，因为我们每一年都有国庆日，然后我们的国庆日都会利用就是流行创业的 APP。所以我就是创造了这个给他们用，因为那时候新加坡是要到那个50年的生日，我们的 50-year anniversary，OK，so 我们就是要 collect 5 million memories， 每一个画画是等于一个 memory for National Archive，OK，and then 在大概2012 5月的时候，我创造一个 APP， 在2个星期内。那个 APP 是叫 JSDC， 可是我已经把它拿下来，可是我可以跟你分享。OK， 那个对，这是那个 timeline， 就是当我在创造的时候，突然间我在摆摊，这是在外面，你们有可能可以看到有人家会就是摆他们的他们创造的东西。然后 Wacom 那个公司，如果你们知道，他们是一个公司做那个板，可以让那个人画画，所以有做 design 的话，在这有没有人做 design？ 有没有人？没有啊，哦，有一个 ，OK， 好 ，So Wacom 进来就说，这个跟我们的 vision 是一模一样的 ，OK， 他们是画画，对吗？然后我之前是 build 这个在on top of Node.js is a HTML-less application using MongoDB， 我用 MongoDB 还有 Redis to store the hash key and data。So I was also using 那个Canvas API，OK，and 没有人需要下载 APP， 因为我觉得是一个很麻烦的事情。如果我要出去在路上叫人家画画帮忙 就是捐那个 memory 给那个政府，就是他们还要下载这些，会有可能有一点迟钝，对。然后Broadcom 进来看到我们的 booth， 他们就说，哎，我觉得你们的 APP 跟我们的 vision 大概一样，然后就是想要看有没有地方可以 explore， 然后在那个短内的时间，他们就给了我们100千新币，对，100千新币，我没有想到就是会拿到什么钱，对，我其实是做免费的，然后他就进来就说给我们100千的新币，叫我们用他们的那个 Stylus 的那个笔，然后可以在手机画画，对，所以我就 OK 好，那我就接受，然后就放他们 logo， 还有分出去那个笔他给我们分的，他们 sponsor 了。然后到那个87天的时候是我们的国庆的 celebration， 我们得到about 1 million 画画 ，OK， 1 million 的画画。OK，so 这是一些画画，我们所拿下来一些就是被外面的人画的啦。然后我也不知道他们会画到什么东西，所以我是 combine JSG 的 idea 是 draw something 跟 Instagram， 然后我放进一个 algorithm by likes over the age of the pictures， 就是那个照片多久那个东西会往下掉 by times the gravity， 它多重它会把那个东西拉下来，就是旧的照片会往下去。然后你可以看到，我们有在那个广播DJ 97 FM， 然后国情的报纸都有出。然后我也不知道人家可以画的这么美，我也被吓到。你看人家画李光耀啊，画新加坡警察，画很多其他的，画地铁、捷运，还有这是新加坡的明星，我不懂你们有没有看新加坡的就是梁志强的电影。这是革命星，他也在现场，就是他帮我们画了一些东西，对。OK，so 这是我们就是做了一个 booth， 在那时候我们开发了，然后因为我们有100千可以玩了，对，然后你可以看小孩子画，对，所以很多人出现，我们也不知道，对不起啊，有那个回应。OK，and then 我就是OK， 我讲快一点啊。OK，so 你看啊，我们不知道这个 APP 会怎么样，可是从照片可以告诉我们很多东西，它带给很多人的笑容。OK， 然后就是很多人就是在画的时候就是会很开心的画，然后发上去。这是那个我们的Chief of Army， 现在是一些就是好像你们的那个Minister for 那个台北的人呢，对，这两个是这个左边是日本人，然后右边是新加坡人，他是我们的 sponsor， 所以我们一定要放他照片，对。OK， 你看这些画画，它就是我觉得是真的很美啊，你看对，而且是这个，这是最好的照片，在这3个下面，我把它拉出来。这是一个爸爸妈妈住在地下，然后他们在画的时候，我们就是傻猪，就是看到哇，可以画到很美，只是从手机画就可以画到很美，我们就傻住，所以政府就是还捐钱给我们，捐大概500千新币，叫我们把这个弄成一个 National Archive， 让那个整个新加坡上面那个 drawing， 对，所以你们要知道，你们。就是可以看外面有什么问题可以解决的话，就帮他们解决，然后创造一个 APP， 因为你们不知道，有可能你们会遇到一个人可以就是帮你带你的 vision 到另外一边，然后你可以拿那个钱再承诺另外一个公司，对 ，You can do your own startup，yeah，yep， 你可以看到，对，好，所以我希望你们。离开这里的时候，你们可以就是敢创业、敢创造。然后，如果你们有什么问题想要就是找投资人的话，你们可以 drop 我一个 Twitter 还是什么，还是你们有什么 idea 可以跟我分享，我也可以跟你们分享。对，我们希望可以交换 一些 idea， 然后我也可以跟你们分享我们新加坡是怎么跑，所以希望台湾可以承诺像新加坡这样。对，好，谢谢。
好的，非常谢谢Shaun为我们带来的分享。那我们现场有没有会众有问题想要向他做进一步的请教的？可以用中文。有人想问问题吗？
有吗？
有的话就直接。
有没有问题啊？大家有没有什么问题想问的？好。
感谢你的分享哦。那应该想问一下说，这样子在你觉得怎么样的这个 idea 啊，才是一个算是你觉得算是一个好的 idea？Good clarify.
Alright, okay. So in 英文我们其实有很多人说 ideas are never really new. OK， 它其实是recreated, reinvented， 重新创作。对，其实 idea 不是很新，是要你看你怎么把它重新弄，它是一个新的方式。对，对。经验上有什么评断的方式啊？好，你看那个我做的那个JSDC， 它其实已经人家做了那个Draw Something 是一个游戏 ，Instagram 也是人家创作的，所以我把两个东西合起来，变成一个新的东西，对。然后我也不知道会有很多人来用，对。然后我只是想要试一下，我叫外面的人、旁边的人就来试一下，然后就慢慢觉得不错，可以放上去。然后就是政府就来了，然后外面的公司也来了，对，对，好，你了解了，好。你可以这样说，你可以这样说，对，好，还有什么问题吗？
还有人有问题吗？OK， 那没有的话，我们就以掌声谢谢Shaun为我们带来的分享，
好，谢谢。